Hey, welcome back, kiddies. This is another week of your favorite podcast, Peanut Butter and Triggered. What's up? Joined by my main dude.
Yo, what's up? It's Scott here, back from more.
And I am Jay Eastwood. We're going to be talking some playing, doing, watching, as we usually do. We're also going to be going over this week in news. And then we're a little late on the half-yearly stuff, but we're going to be talking about what's going on roughly 75% of the year so far for video games, movies, and TV. So strap your safety belts in, sons and daughters.
Yeah, and everybody.
Yeah, I guess just everybody, if we're going to be politically correct.
Well, I guess you could start, sir. What are you playing, doing, watching?
All right, so I am playing the same shit, so I'm not going to talk about that. I just wrapped up with a couple of things, actually, or a few things. I just literally finished up Mindhunter Season 2.
Was it good?
Yeah, that was very pleasantly surprising. I think that certain characters have been developed and fleshed out a little bit more. You know how there's always like an annoying like supporting character during like a hit TV show? There really wasn't one of those for me. Like there were like maybe two people that were bordering on annoying, and then after that I was just like, you know what? They're just doing their thing. That's part of the whole idea. They have to create tension. So it didn't bother me that much. The I guess formula, what they've normally been doing for Mindhunter hasn't changed at all. At least not enough for me to be like, oh, this didn't even feel like a Mindhunter season. It was really well done, and we I mean Katie and I, we did a little bit of research, and it's actually really interesting how many different angles of each of these cases that they've covered, because they actually covered a couple of controversial cases. So if you haven't seen season 1, do yourself a favor, go back, watch season 1, and then go watch and enjoy season 2.
I really enjoyed in season 1. My favorite part was the interviews with the serial killers, and everything else was kind of like okay, but I really enjoyed like the actual interviews, and I knew that too. The actors who portrayed the serial killers like did a really good job at almost word for word portraying the interviews that they were in. Is there more of that this season?
Yeah, they definitely give you like a greatest hits again of serial killers. The interesting thing is that they actually don't romanticize it as I know it would be like it'd be super easy to do. Because I think, I can't remember, it was that stupid Ted Bundy movie.
Yeah, with Zac Efron.
Yeah, they almost romanticized him.
Yeah, it's stupid. That guy just like literally like tortured and murdered people.
Yeah, they definitely don't do that. And with the whole like duo of Holden Ford and Bill Tench, they do give kind of different perspectives, which I think add a nuance of like, I guess like both sides of any argument. So I thought that was really well done. When they've interviewed, you know, everybody from like, you know, Charlie Manson to the fucking.
Did they do BTK?
No, they didn't do BTK in this season. They do still talk about BTK. They kind of give these little vignettes. But I don't know what they're going to be doing with BTK, because you know, spoiler alert, he doesn't get caught for a very long time.
Yeah, if you don't know that he committed a bunch of murders in the 70s. I guess that's true. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking like that show takes place like in like the 70s or whatever. He got caught like in 2005.
I want to say that this season takes place like as it turns into the 80s, I think. Okay. So
yeah, we won't get him till like probably way later.
Yeah. He recently got caught. I want to say it was like early thousands or something.
2005, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting to see him go through like, because at first you kind of see him prepping for you know how he wants to like invade homes and stuff, and in the later episodes you definitely see him getting more confident, which is very sickening. Yeah.
Okay, so he is in the season.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's interesting to see. Again, they don't really go, very deep into BTK. They just give these little vignettes of what's going on with his life, and they do mention how he communicates with law enforcement. So they do end up like giving him that name in the season 2.
He's an interesting case because at the end, like during his court case and stuff, he confessed to everything and told in gruesome detail how what he was feeling like, and he was like, I don't know, he was just open. It was almost like he was kind of just getting it off his chest, telling people like how he had like this way of killing people, and like he called it his hit kit, and he had all these phases to his murders and stuff, which is really interesting. Hearing that kind of side of it, but yeah, I want to watch that. Sounds cool.
Yeah. So I suggest that you do. I suggest everybody watches it. Really. If I had to grade it, I'd give it.
7-year-olds.
What?
7-year-olds watch it too.
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
If I had to give it a grade, I would definitely give it like an A. Again, there were some supporting characters that were bordering on the line of like getting. They were like bordering on the line of like getting annoying and stuff. But again, I get why. And then I just thought that everything was like really well thought out. You get like every side of every argument for any of these cases. Then they were really thorough and they were pretty much dead on if you do the research.
Cool. No, that's super cool.
Yeah. And then I saw a couple of other things that stuck out to me. Not necessarily for Mindhunter. I'm all done with that. But I watched Good Boys. It's in theaters right now. It stars 3 kids. I don't know their names, but it was like written by Seth Rogen. As far as like what everybody's saying, they said that it's the best comedy of the year. But we'll go further into that for our late half yearly awards.
Did you see it?
I saw it from beginning to end.
Excellent. We'll talk about that then.
I'm going to give my grade with an asterisk on this one, but I'll explain it first. I thought the movie was funny. I thought it was an interesting idea. I guess for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's basically 3 kids. It's a coming of age movie that basically kind of deal with the I guess the impending doom of their childhood friendships. They're like 8 or 9 years old or something like that, and they're basically on a mission to try to get to a house party, and they accidentally break something of their dad's, and they're trying to avoid being grounded to make it to a house party. It's really funny. It deals with a lot of things that I'm sure that everybody who watches it will kind of, I would say it'll spark up some sort of memory. The only gripes I have with it is that I didn't think the acting was very good, but again, you're dealing with like child actors. So that part's okay. And then there were certain parts that were just like, I guess, exaggerated, but it's exaggerated as a device. So there's a kid that whenever he gets scared, he screams like a girl. And then they can't seem to open child-proof bottles, even though they're going into the 6th grade. So, it just little things like that, but those things are devices to show how naive and how, I guess how innocent and childlike that these kids are. But, I don't know. I think it was a funny movie. The dialogue was funny. It just wasn't really well executed. I give it an A- with an asterisk.
Okay.
And again, I'll explain the asterisk as we go through the movies section of our late half-yearly awards.
Sounds great.
And then lastly, I'm watching Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Came out in 1997 to get ready for the Spawn DLC for Mortal Kombat. It's a very interesting deep dive into the, I guess, origin of Spawn. So if you don't know, Spawn is from Image Comics. He's a hell spawn that he gets his way back to Earth to see his wife one last time, and he's an anti-hero that kind of kills bad guys. I think it's a really, really interesting TV show. It's all animated, but it's like super gruesome, and there's
Animated
a lot of.
super well.
Oh yeah, it's animated to look like a comic book has come to life, essentially.
Yes, very
It
good.
almost reminds me of the same animation style of like Aeon Flux. Do you remember that way back way?
Uh-huh.
So that same sort of animation style.
Like a more, it's almost like a more American anime is how I describe it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good way to describe that. The people are definitely like photorealistic, as much as you possibly can get with that style of animation. There really isn't any sort of exaggerated features unless we're talking about, unless the character's supposed to appear that way, like the Violator, the clown, or I can't remember the dude's name. I think his name's Overkill, who's like a cyborg. But it's really cool. It's super graphic. It's super suggestive as well. It's definitely not for a younger audience. And I think they're like 20-minute episodes, and it lasts like 2 or 3 seasons. So I'm maybe like 5 episodes in, but it's really good.
It?
Why?
Where?
HBO Now. So
they have the whole series.
Yeah, so if you can't find it on HBO Now, or if you can't find it, it's definitely on HBO Now. They have the whole thing up, so you should be able to get your binge on.
I might have to watch that.
Yeah, I highly suggest it. So I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in, and already I'm giving it a B+.
Wow.
It's really well drawn, and it's I guess the content is super gritty. It reminds me of a noir, the way that it's told. And, who doesn't like an anti-hero causing havoc?
Yeah, a badass one with pretty cool villains.
Yeah. So that's it for my playing and doing and watching. What about you, Scotty Do?
So I don't think I said this last week. I switched from Battlefield 5. I've converted back to Battlefield 1, so I went back a generation, and goddamn, Battlefield 1's better than Battlefield 5. It's just, golly, it's terrible. Battlefield 5 is just no support. Like, the maps are few and far between, and like the unlocks are stupid. So yeah, I'm back on Battlefield 1. Not playing it a ton, just a little this, little that. I'm trying to think of course, Hard Knocks. That's a new episode's on tonight. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else I watched. I don't know if I told you about this. I watched Coco last week. Did I tell you about this?
Is that the animated movie?
Yeah, the Disney animated movie.
Yeah.
I was trying to put on a movie to watch with my son, and he wasn't really too terribly interested, but I figured I'd try it. I'm not normally into that, but I was very, very delightfully impressed. It's kind of the story of like, it's like a Mexican heritage and the Day of the Dead, and this kid like basically passing over into like the afterlife and stuff. It's pretty interesting.
That's kind of heavy material for a child.
Yeah, well, basically, the child like picks up a guitar and gets sent there. He's not dead, but he gets sent there, and then there's a cast of characters who are trying of his old family, trying to send them back to like the living world. It's actually pretty good. It's not terribly dark.
Note to self: do not pick up a guitar ever again.
Yeah, don't pick up a guitar of famous like Mexican folk singer. Just avoid it like whenever you can.
So is it like just like every other Disney movie where it's fun for like, I guess, 2 different generations for different reasons? Like, it's fun for kids because it's like it's funny and the animation's specifically made for kids, but it's fun for adults because there's hidden suggestive humor.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say there's too much of that humor, but the story is actually like really good, and it did surprise me. It wasn't predictable to me, which normally I figure it out right away, but I was watching and it did surprise me, and it kind of like made me tear up at the end. So like, I was like, dang, this is actually really good. Something I don't normally go out of my way to watch. So I was like really impressed.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. So other than that, I'm not really playing anything, or not really doing anything else. Just played a little more Dungeons and Dragons, but that's it.
Dope, dude. Oh, I did pick up Mortal Kombat again because Nightwolf Early Access is out. I played with him. He's actually really good. Combos string together really well, and he's easy to use. We'll see if that changes later, but so far he's a decent dude to make a build on.
Cool. That's dope.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, every week they're adding a little this, a little that.
Yeah, and hopefully by the 23rd we should be able to see more playable characters. I think Sindel, Spawn, and ideally we'll get the 2 mystery characters.
Any idea who they are? I think I asked you this last time.
Yeah, they already said that Terminator T-800 leaked, and then people are thinking Ash from Evil Dead is going to be in it with his chainsaw hand.
Gotcha, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it would be cool though. I mean, regardless of who they end up choosing for the mystery characters, it's most likely going to be well done. I mean, unless it completely shit the bed, like they would have to try to really suck.
For sure.
But what's on yonder for the news?
We have a lot of news, so I'm probably not going to go through all of it. Gamescom is this week. There's been a lot of announcements, a lot of extra stuff. But I'm going to start with I'm not going to start with Gamescom. I'm going to start with something that's kind of tickling my fancy.
Ooh, where's that?
One of my favorite actors is Sir Keanu Reeves. And it's official. According to Variety magazine, Warner Brothers has officially confirmed Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are returning for The Matrix 4.
That's actually really big news. I'm surprised that I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of tweets of people saying, "Hey, it's official. I can announce. I've been doing designs for The Matrix 4. Blah 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 blah."
How long's it been?
I think they've been in production for 8 weeks. So.
It's been a while.
Oh, you mean how long's it been since the last Matrix?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think they said the last one came out in 2000 something. The first Matrix was 99.
God damn.
Reloaded and Revolutions, both written and directed by the Wachowskis. I don't know when they came out, but not long after. But that is exciting to me. I love Keanu Reeves, and The Matrix is super dope. So.
Killer.
Some other news, some more GameStop news, as we've been all keeping up to date on our GameStop news. GameStop lays off over 100 people, probably closer to 120, which is 14% of their total workforce, in what they claim is an effort to make the business more profitable and to transform their business for the future, aka they are dying. They posted a $500 million loss this last quarter. It's just going really terrible for them. There's been a plague of poor bad press on them, including getting different people fired from jobs that aren't even related to GameStop. Just the fact that online is encroached in it and they can't seem to evolve out of just pre-order everything, as well as the whole thing where they had going where they were purposely lying to shareholders and opening new games and selling them as used to say that their used sales were higher than they actually were.
Jeez.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. My estimation is GameStop won't survive another year. I bet next year GameStop goes out of business. It might survive another year, but I bet you it doesn't make it out of 2020. That's my guess.
What? Is it really that bad?
Yeah, their stock's on a record low. They're like I said, a $500 million loss in a quarter is just terrible. They've laid off just before this. They laid off lots of regional managers. They have regional managers covering just tons and tons of stores. It's not good.
I would have never guessed that they were doing that badly.
Yeah, it's just they can't sell anything. The where they make their money is on the stupid insurance on the game, which no one wants, and then on the yearly, you get the subscription on Gamers Club Unlocked or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they recently reduced the benefits on that, so no one wants it anymore. It used to be you got 10% or 10 or 15% off all used games, and then they're like, hey, instead, we're going to give you a $5 gift certificate every month that expires at the end of the month.
Oh, that's
So
weak.
people are like, dude, like, okay, you're going to give it. They're like, but you get like a lot of money. It's $5 a month. You can spend on anything. And everyone's like, dude, like, what if I don't want to buy a game this month? It's a waste of my money. So, yeah. Anyway, GameStop, RIP, dying.
That sucks. You were trying to support them for a long time too, right? With the way that you bought your console, some of your games.
I don't know about support them. What happened is they were running a promotion where they were giving cash, same as in-store credit. This was like last year. It was when God of War came out, actually. I had a PlayStation that was broken. Well, it erased itself and it wouldn't turn on, and so I had to reformat it. And they were doing a promotion. This is a Generation 1 PlayStation 4 I got like when the PlayStation 4 released, so I'd had it for like 4 or 5 years. And it wouldn't do anything. It was all beat the fuck up. And then I had a broken-ass controller with the broken R2 button. And I was like, oh shit, well, let's go trade this in and trade up. And they gave me like $200 cash for that PlayStation. Dude, it was not worth that. And the controller barely worked.
Damn.
And he's like, well, would you like to trade it towards anything? I was like, nah. I was like, can I pre-order the God of War edition, special edition of the PlayStation 4 Pro? And he's like, no, we can't pre-order them right now. I was like, I'll just take the cash. And I just took the cash and went to Best Buy and pre-ordered it at Best Buy. And so they got my like janky old PlayStation, and I got $200 cash from it. It's worth way more than well, my PlayStation is worth way less than that. So I guess I supported them by screwing them over.
Yeah, well, never mind then. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, you almost ruined the podcast. Yeah, but another little thing here, as we move on. Spider-Man will no longer be shared by Marvel and Sony, aka there's a good chance you won't see Spider-Man in any of the MCU stuff anymore. So they were also producing more Spider-Man films, and apparently they might be canceled. So that's for those of you who love Spider-Man, that might be depressing.
I would say it's depressing. I like Spider-Man, but I mean, we just keep getting like the same recycled shit like every time, except for I guess Far From Home was pretty different. That was actually a breath of fresh air for most people. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would have eventually been like another recycled like piece of shit that eventually was going to happen. I bet.
No, I agree with you 100%. I don't know. You can only do so much Spider-Man. Like you can only swing around for so long.
No, if they would actually like be true to like what Spider-Man is, then I think that it would actually be a good idea. Like if they would have, I don't know, had like a rated R Venom and then eventually like met the two in like a mashup film, or let's say they don't do another movie with like Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus, that would be kind of tight. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like, what if they have like a Michael Morbius one that gets really dark and then Blade comes in? That would be tight.
No, yeah, for sure. Adding other people into it and stuff.
Yeah.
This next part is kind of going to be a quick hits. Tell me if you want me to stop anywhere. There's a lot of Gamescom news, but I don't feel like we need to go through all of it.
Okay.
They announced a new Need for Speed. Need for Speed Need for Speed Heat.
I'm intrigued.
You want me to talk about it a little bit?
Is it set to rival like a Forza Horizon?
No. It's definitely like a Need for Speed game where you're just racing and the cops are chasing you.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So it's like Hot Pursuit. I don't know if you ever played that game.
Yeah, it sucked.
Here we go. That Avengers game, they updated the visuals, so like the faces look much better than they looked in the E3 announcement. So that's kind of nice. It looks a lot better than it looked before, but still looks kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got here? They also released 19 minutes of gameplay, so if you want to go watch the Hulk and Thor throw shit around, go ahead.
No.
The Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, they announced a release date. That release date is September 3rd of 2019 with the price tag of $19.99. So if you want to get your hands on Final Fantasy VIII, once again, that's a good opportunity for you. They announced that Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting an alpha on PS4 only this weekend, so I'm kind of excited about that.
You fix your PS4?
My PS4 is fixed.
Nice, dude. I'm happy for you.
I don't know what happened to my PS4. It just stopped turning on, and I was like, shit, well, this is it. I was out of the warranty and stuff, and then it just turned on. So I don't know what happened. But yes, it's up and running. Which I'm happy about because I was not about to buy another one right off. We get more Destiny 2 stuff for the 8 people who care. The Witcher 3 gets an announced a release date for the Switch, which would actually be a really cool Switch game, which is October 15th. I think that's most of it. I mean, there's still a lot more. The Predator Hunting Grounds got another trailer, which is just an asymmetrical kind of like shooter game. Google Stadia announced a little more, including that Watch Dogs Legions is going to be kind of one of their main games where you can play as anybody in the Watch Dogs universe in London. Mortal Kombat 11 also coming to Stadia, which that will be interesting based on how quickly you hit the buttons. Like, will there be any like lag issues? You know,
they're claiming no, and they're claiming especially because they're using Google's backbone. So I don't know, and it's also I want to say that the controller is also connected to the Google backbone too. So it's not actually connected to the game; it's connected to the backbone.
That's cool. So yeah, that's cool. Cyberpunk 2077 also getting an announcement that it's coming to Google Stadia. So getting some decent games. And lastly, RTX, they announced a whole bunch of cool new RTX or ray tracing things. For those of you who don't understand what ray tracing is, kind of the newest, coolest thing to come out of video games lately, and it hasn't hit the console market yet. It's something called ray tracing. Ray tracing is a way that a game actually produces light. It makes it more realistic. If you have a 2060, 2070, or 2080, the graphics cards from NVIDIA, you can go on, you can play with some of the most beautiful games there are. And the 3 big games they announced, Watch Dogs Legions, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and the one that no one expected, which is Minecraft, which Minecraft looks amazing with ray tracing, believe it or not.
What? I have to look at the videos of that.
Yeah, go look at the videos. You'll be impressed how much it changes the dynamic of like the lighting.
Well, I saw like a still of Dying Light 2, which I'm still really pumped on, but it makes a huge difference. You can actually see like better depth of field with the whole ray tracing thing. Like it's better obviously for light dynamics, but for depth of field too. So that is actually a huge benefit.
It's hard to explain it, but basically if you've played a game, you know, if you like look at your shadow, the shadow is almost like I would describe it as almost like a lower polygon silhouette of your character. Which shadows aren't always like that. They have more, it's more dynamic than that. And ray tracing kind of takes, I don't know, ray tracing changes it. But that's kind of the future. Few other things. Crossplay announced for PUBG between Xbox One and PS4. The 14 people playing that will really enjoy that.
I'm coming.
And I think my long rant might officially be over. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and I know you saw a little bit of the trailer, is Death Stranding got about 8 minutes of very odd but intriguing gameplay. What did you think?
I'm still like extremely confused about what I'm supposed to do. From what it looks like, literally just deliveries.
Yeah, it looks like you're like kind of long distance walking in the future, delivering. It looks like based on like the HUD, weight comes into a factor. At one point in the in the trailer, he urinates. So you could actually see the amount of urination or urine, come coming out of his body. So I don't know why you would have to do that, but it looks like maybe a survival element. Like maybe you have to feed him and do bodily functions and all that shit.
I'm coming.
Yeah, that too. The other thing that was really weird is, the thing with Death Stranding is the whole time there's like a baby strapped to his chest, and there's one part in the gameplay where he falls off like a little cliff and lands on his stomach and the baby starts crying, and there's a button he hits, and he takes his baby, which is like it's like a fetus inside of like I don't even know how to describe it, like a vial, not a vial. But
it's like an artificial womb.
Yeah, exactly, artificial womb. And the baby's crying, and he like starts saying, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And then you move the controller up and down to rock the baby and relax it, and then the baby like relax, and he connects to it, and then he slides down this hill, and he's sliding down the hill. The baby's like laughing, in this artificial womb, which is really fucking weird.
I don't know about this game. I'm intrigued enough to want to play it, but I'm confused enough to be angry.
Angry?
Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah, this confusion is making me angry.
Well, it's a Kojima joint. You love Kojima.
Yeah, he's put out some bangers before, but this might be a little too weird.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I think that it's heightened a lot of people's interest as a game that is out of the ordinary. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all the news I have. I know that was a lot, but there's a lot with Gamescom I figured we'd touch on. So do you want to start off with what our next segment is? Excuse me.
Yeah, we're going to be going over our late half-yearly recognition for basically games, movies, and TV. I'd like to start it off with TV, since there's a lot of bangers and a lot of not so much bangers.
Let's do it.
Okay, so on this list of bangers, here's what I have, and feel free to jump in and add to this list. I have Chernobyl, Russian Doll, Mindhunter, What We Do in the Shadows, and True Detective.
Yeah. So the only one I've actually watched is Chernobyl. So you will have to. I mean, you're probably gonna know more than I will.
Sure. So Chernobyl was the miniseries that was available or is available on HBO. It came out, I want to say, like maybe 4 months ago. It basically takes place in 1986 USSR. I want to say it's Pripyat, Ukraine. Basically, it goes over the events of the Chernobyl disaster, where a reactor exploded and it caused a bunch of nuclear fallout to spread all over Europe, essentially. And it goes over some of the political, corruption and dynamics of corruption. It also goes over some of the medical implications. And lastly, it also gave a deep dive into, how people were living with a lot of that turmoil. So, I mean, I don't know how much, because I'm reading like articles and stuff that say like, here's a bunch of stuff that they got right, here's a bunch of stuff that they got wrong. But overall, it was a good watch. Like, yeah, I felt captivated during the whole thing.
For sure, yeah, I agree. Like, that part where he goes up on the roof and looks like right into the core, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, like, I could almost taste the metal in the air that he was tasting.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, and then the other thing, too, when one of the nuclear... I think she's like a nuclear physicist. She goes and visits some of the people in the hospitals, and they're essentially liquefying from the inside out. Apparently all that stuff was pretty realistic and
terrible deaths.
Devastating. And she's sitting there trying to interview them, and they're doing the best that they can, but like they're literally dying. It's really crazy. Yeah.
The crazy thing about it is they're melting. Their body is basically ruins your DNA, and so your body doesn't know how to put itself back together. So you can't actually heal. So your body literally doesn't heal. And at some point, your veins become so weak that they can't even administer pain medication. So yeah, truly fucking terrible all the way to the end.
Wow. I mean, I gave that show an A. I don't know about you, in your strange grading scale.
Yeah, like an 87.
Okay, that's like a B plus for you.
Sure.
In my list of bangers, I had Russian Doll. I thought that it was a very clever and well thought out take on the whole if anybody's ever seen Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, it's the same sort of concept. This lady who is very cynical and kind of fed up with her life, she ends up dying, but every time she dies, she wakes back up and has to start her day over again. So
I hate when that happens.
I know. Actually, that'd be dope. If I just had a shitty day, I'd be like, "Ah, fuck it. Let me start this one over again." I'd go off and find a way to kill myself. I think it's really cool too because she finds different ways that she dies and she tries to avoid them, and she ends up being like ultra cautious. It stars what the hell is her name? It's Nadia something or other. She's huh?
Mila Jovovich.
No. It's the girl from American Pie. The smart one that's friends with Tara Reid's character. Anyways, yeah, whatever. If you saw American Pie and you saw her, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I recognize her." But it was really funny. It was really clever. The end does give you resolution. And then the other thing that was really funny to watch in a really dark and sinister way is that, she keeps dying in really strange ways. So that's a definite must watch. What's that?
Netflix has been having some bangers, and same with HBO.
I agree. I think, with the exception of one of my shows, they all came from HBO or Netflix.
Yeah, fuck regular TV. Regular TV is terrible.
Yeah, it kind of is, actually.
Yeah.
So I give Russian Doll an A minus.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's on my long list of shit I need to watch.
Yeah. And I already went over Mindhunter the season 2, so I'm not going to go over that again.
Well, never mind.
Okay. And
Sorry,
then
I remembered you gave an asterisk, but that was for your
Good Boys, yeah. Now the next TV show that I'd like to go over is What We Do in the Shadows. And if you all aren't familiar with What We Do in the Shadows, it's a mockumentary that follows around a group of vampires and how they live in modern society. Super funny. It's based off of a mockumentary movie of the same name. It stars Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords and 2 other dudes. But same idea, and I can't say enough about this show. Every single episode was hilarious. It is dry, so if you don't like dry comedy, then you're gonna hate it. It's I think 13 episodes long on FX, and it's really funny. The biggest things I think are really funny is that you get such a contrast of what modern people in a modern society think of as normal versus these vampires that have been alive for centuries. And then also you get sort of the whole vampire sort of trope of events that happen, they can't go into sunlight, they threaten each other with wooden stakes and things of that nature. So it is actually really cool. I definitely recommend it. That one I also give an A minus. That one is very clever. They're also been renewed for season 2, so I expect it to get much better.
Nice. And again, that's one that's on my list.
Well, good. I'm glad that I'm hoping that you enjoy it, and if you don't, then you can write FX and ask them why they've done this.
Dear FX, I can't.
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this.
And then the last one that I have for a banger was True Detective season 3. After that piece of shit season 2, True Detective, the franchise has redeemed itself with season 3. It was really well done. The prosthetics and the practical effects were second to none. Mahershala Ali is a really great leading man. It follows 3 different timelines, and all of it falls together seamlessly. Even like the transitions between each of these timelines, seamless. The story was great. The crimes that they're investigating, also captivating. You even got a really likable Stephen Dwarf of Blade fame. But dude, I can't recommend this TV show enough. It was on HBO. I believe it was 8 episodes long. So if you want a quickie, that's definitely one that I'd recommend. That one gets an A+. That one was a really good season. Oh yeah, dude. And the whole time you're just thinking like, what's gonna happen next? Really, it's a great watch.
Well, I'll have to put that on my list too.
Yeah, please do.
Wow.
We do have some duds though.
Okay.
So the duds that I have, and feel free to add any to this list. I have Black Mirror season 5, Game of Thrones season 8.
Big fucking dud.
And then this is like a kind of an in between, I think, of a banger and a dud. I would say Stranger Things. It's floating in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked again the feel of the movie. Or the show, excuse me.
Yeah.
It kind of, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. It kind of had two coherent or two separate storylines.
Yeah. 3 really, if you think about it.
Yeah, well, the two main ones that I remember are the ones, there's like one with the Russians and then there's one with the monster. And I found the monster one to be really good and the Russian one to be really stupid. So.
Yeah. I still enjoyed the season 3, but it was just like, I finished it because I had to.
Yeah, I did go down to Baskin Robbins like a month ago, and they actually are doing basically a promotion where they have like branded ice creams that are just like the Ahoy ice cream in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
and they had like the SS butterscotch, and that shit's good. I will say that.
Well, I wish I could have ice cream. Otherwise, if I could, I would.
Why can't you?
I explode when I have it. I'll eat a bar for shit.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, it hurts.
Almond milk tastes better anyway.
Yeah, dude, try hazelnut milk. It'll blow your mind.
Oh, we got the hemp milk. My son drinks a lot.
Try that oat milk, too.
Oat milk?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different milks now.
Yeah, try that cashew milk.
I have tried the cashew milk.
It'll knock your socks off.
When I was a kid, there was only one kind of milk. And now there's like a ton of milks.
Yeah, dude, even when I was a kid, I didn't want to drink milk. It almost tasted disgusting to me, too. I only had it in, like, cereal.
It is an odd substance.
All right, so the duds, obviously, are we already went over the Game of Thrones dud, so I guess we don't need to recap that. Everybody already knows that they shit the bed. Mm-hmm. Black Mirror, they released 3 episodes for season 5.
They were longer, right?
They were slightly longer, but I mean, I feel like they were trying to rely on star power. The
one I watched. Sorry to interrupt you. I watched one of the 3 episodes, and that was the Miley Ray Cyrus one.
Miley Cyrus, yeah, it wasn't good. It was pretty bad. It was kind of annoying too.
I hear that song around though. It's popular. The song.
Yeah, it's around. The one that I remember being decent was the Striking Vipers, the one where the guys play video games and get it on during the video game.
Yeah, I did watch part of that one, and I put it down.
That one was really interesting. Because is it porn? Is it cheating? What the hell happened? I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. But all the other ones sucked. And I had really high hopes with Black Mirror too because I love that series. And it's been nothing but bangers coming out from Black Mirror. And this one shit the bed. So we'll see what season 6 has in store if we're gonna get one.
Yeah. I mean, you never know, because this season could be terrible, next season could be great, because it's just so much, every episode is so different, you know?
Yeah, and where can they go at this point, though? That's the other thing. It's 6 seasons of content, and they've basically, like, tied an entire universe together on different timelines with different sort of media, you know? It's crazy. Do you have any other duds?
No, I don't have any duds necessarily. I did watch, again, this is a sports thing, but I watched All or Nothing season with the Carolina Panthers, and I was super excited for it, but very underwhelmed. My wife even, she's not huge. She likes football, but she likes watching them because she likes seeing the players, and usually goes to their families and stuff. And it's kind of interesting to see, them battle back from injuries and stuff. Well, this year it wasn't too great. So that would be my dud, I guess. Although I don't know if many of our listeners will give a shit about that dud.
Well, on that bombshell, let's move on to movies. I would say that my bangers were Dead Don't Die, even though it got critically destroyed. Good Boys and Black Klansman. Those are my bangers.
My big one that surprised me this year was that Imagine movie. That was really good.
Which one?
Imagine.
I don't remember that one.
That's the one where everyone forgets the Beatles.
Oh, that's Yesterday.
Oh yeah, my bad. I don't know why I called it Imagine. You're right. Yesterday. And also Endgame was really good too, I thought.
Oh yeah, dude. No one will shut the fuck up about Endgame.
Yeah, people be pre-ordering and stuff.
Yeah, like on Blu-ray and stuff. Yeah.
Like people they ran out at Best Buy, I think.
Yeah. And I've already sort of reviewed each of my bangers. Actually, I don't even think I did talk about Black Klansman. That one I just I really enjoyed. It was, again, captivating the whole way through. It didn't take too long to start. It tackles a very, very real problem, one that's currently plaguing society today. And then the other thing that was really interesting about it too is you remember on Dave Chappelle's show where they had the black racist dude, the black Ku Klux Klan member.
The blind one.
Yeah, it kind of runs with that. So I think it was a really well done movie, and it ended really well. But then it brings you right back, and it's like, oh shit, I forgot we're still dealing with fuck ton of racist people. So that one was really good. I gave that one an A, just because it was near flawless for me. And then the other thing too, I'm going to explain the asterisk behind Good Boys. I gave that one, I give it an A?
Yeah, an A-, I think.
A- with an asterisk, that's right. Because it's the best comedy of the year so far. Keep in mind that we've had nothing but shitty comedies this year. So if you look through and you find all of the comedies for 2019, for the most part, there are some really, really shitty ones. Like movies that nobody has seen.
Yeah, I don't remember a good one at all.
Yesterday.
No, I mean, it's kind of a comedy.
I don't know why, but everywhere is considering that and categorizing it as a comedy. I would call it more of a drama than anything.
Yeah, I mean, there are parts that are definitely funny, don't get me wrong, but if I had to put, I wouldn't call it a comedy.
Yeah. Well,
I guess.
There was that Rebel Wilson and Anne Hathaway comedy called The Hustle that apparently really just did a poor job of being funny, according to critics on Rotten Tomatoes. Tyler Perry's Medea Family Funeral, that pretty much did a really shitty job too. The Professor with Johnny Depp, that one did a really bad job. Apparently, this year is just not the year for comedies. So that's why I gave an asterisk, because it's all relative.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of really good comedies out this year.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? I mean, the year isn't over yet. There's still 3 months, maybe. Right?
Can I bring up a movie that did come out this year that we never talked about, that I never even knew existed?
Yeah.
It's a movie with Sam Elliott and Aidan Turner. The movie's called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, no, I've heard of it.
It says, decades after ending World War II by assassinating Adolf Hitler, in an undercover operation, unsung hero Calvin Barr is called upon by the government to hunt down the fabled Bigfoot, the carrier of a deadly plague that could destroy humanity.
Jeez.
That looks amazing.
I mean, how well did it do?
It has a 51 on Metacritic, but that's only based on 13 critics' reviews.
Like I said, not a lot of good movies out, but there are movies that are actually on the horizon that should be bangers. Like Rambo's set to be a banger. It Chapter 2 is going to be good.
Yep.
Terminator Dark Fate hopefully is good because I have really high hopes for that. So I mean, the year isn't over. We should have some pretty good ones.
No, I agree with you. And there's some that I didn't get to see, like John Wick, that looks like a banger, and I heard really good things about it. And then also, another one I'm low-key excited about is Zombieland Double Tap.
Oh, yeah, that one's going to be a good one. Hey, and I should punch myself in the face because for bangers on TV, I completely forgot about a couple of them. Just real quick, Barry is definitely an A+. I can't say enough good things about that show. It's on HBO also. Strange. That one, if you haven't seen it, it's a really good watch. Even if you have to binge through it, it's still one of those shows that I recommend for anybody. And then I Think You Should Leave Now with Tim Robinson. That is on Netflix. It's a sketch comedy show. If you like weird, awkward humor, but don't want to sit around for an entire series, watch this one. I swear it's going to be up your alley.
And Barry's not even that long. It's like 10, 20-minute episodes or something.
Yeah. I think the first one was like a 45-minute episode, and then they went to 26 minutes or something.
Yeah, which is like nothing.
Yeah. But you're going to talk about video games, is that right?
Yeah, let's catch up on video games. There's not nearly as many video games as movies or shows, but there are definitely some bangers and some ones that weren't as good. Start off the beginning of the year, I think we started off super strong with Resident Evil 2.
Good one.
The remake. Definitely a really good game. I really enjoyed that game, so much so I'm thinking about going back and playing it again. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that one. I also have Kingdom Hearts here. Kingdom Hearts, I played like an hour of it, and I have not played it anymore. I feel like I didn't give it a fair chance. But still, it's a little too anime for me. Like, I have to really push through the anime-ness. I'm just going through. Games Radar has games that came out kind of in order each month. February, Apex Legends, very popular game. The person who'd normally talk about it is not here. That'd be Jacob.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to him?
I don't know. You tell me.
He's probably jacking off.
Probably. One that I think you'd actually really like is the Metro series, Metro Exodus.
How dare you make any sort of assumptions about me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I assumed that you'd love a game and try to suggest it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
The Division 2, which is an alright game. I enjoy it. I mean, I bought it for like $20, so it's not bad. Devil May Cry, which I could give a shit about. Here you go. April, Mortal Kombat 11. That's a banger.
That's a definite banger. But it's quickly fallen off because of the tardiness of the DLCs.
It's hard to stay on track. I'm sure those guys are working hard.
They might be.
Or maybe they're just being lazy and not doing anything. Just enjoying the money off your season pass. As we get like mid-year Crash Team Racing, again, I don't care about, as well as Super Mario Maker. And going forward, the games, there's a lot of games that look really good. Games I'm excited for and that are coming out. Gears 5 comes out. A lot of people really pumped about a new Gears of War. Borderlands 3 comes out next month. The new Legend of Zelda. Outer Worlds, which is like a good version of Fallout. Death Stranding on November 8th. We've already talked about that a lot today. But and then the new Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Order. There's kind of a lot coming in the second half compared to the first.
You also forgot about a couple. So people really did like Days Gone, and I also really did enjoy World War Z.
That's true. Both the zombie games coming back around.
Bangers.
I haven't played. I want to play both those games. The first one that's kind of the top of my list is that Days Gone. It takes place here in Oregon, so that's cool.
Yeah, I gotta
Doom
pick that
Eternal.
up.
Oh yeah, you say you got to pick it up.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, me either. It looks cool though. Doom Eternal, that's coming out this year. I think that kind of wraps out this year's for sure games. The rest of them come out next year. Next year's slated to be a really good game as well, or a good year as well. Maybe we'll get Final Fantasy VII finally, as well as Cyberpunk next year.
Don't hold your breath.
I know. I'd be surprised if we got Final Fantasy VII by the end of next year. And then, of course, your game, Dying Light 2, comes out spring of 2020.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's already going to be a banger. The first one was excellent.
Dude, Sony's killing it. Let me tell you, because the big game they have Xbox has coming for sure, like in the distant future, is Halo Infinite. But the games that PlayStation has coming, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, those are going to be bangers. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you right now, those are going to be bangers. But that's mostly all I have for the good video games. I guess the most disappointed I would be is with with Kingdom Hearts. After all these years, I felt like it was underwhelming.
Okay, so this is going to be maybe an unpopular opinion, and for all of you out there that really enjoy anime, I'm going to apologize in advance. I think anime is so annoying. And I almost can't even quite put my finger on it. I think it's like the really high pitched like voiceover acting. I think it's also the really like strange animation style. I can't get behind it. And partially because I think a lot of people jack off to it too. It's almost kind of off-putting.
Yeah, I think part of it is just, it's not the anime as much as the culture and the people who are like...
Yeah, that's like what it is.
Like stinky neckbeard people who are like hugging these pillows of anime characters and stuff, which isn't something that you would see in a normal animation or like a normal, like movie. Like no one's going out and buying a pillow of like fucking Trinity from the Matrix, like...
Wrong. I did.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have asked you first before.
I actually made my own pillow of Trinity.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. But yes, I agree. Just kind of the weirdness that comes with it. I think there are a lot of people who like anime who aren't terribly weird, but just the idea of like, yeah, I love anime, and like when I was in high school,
that almost sounded like anime.
Exactly. All the kids when I was in high school, the kids who watched anime were really fucking weird. Like, I remember there's groups of kids who, like, like they had females in the groups who wore, like, tails.
Yeah,
like,
or ears.
No. Yeah, or ears, or they wear, like weird headbands and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit's weird, dude.
Super weird.
They're like the type of people that insist on using chopsticks, even if they're not eating something Japanese. Like, I've seen people that have, like, they bring their own fucking utensils, and it's like a utensil pack with, like, spoons and chopsticks, and there's, like, oddly, like, a fork missing out of it, but, like, yeah, they'll insist on using these chopsticks, man. They're into it.
Well, they also, like, are in love with the Japanese culture. Like, they obsess over, like, Japan, and it's kind of weird, too.
Hey, I mean, if that's what they're into, that's what they're into. But you know that they're into the weird stuff, too. I'm talking about, like, tentacle porn and, like, those weird dildos that lay eggs inside of you.
Oh, God.
Did you hear about those?
No, I didn't hear about that. That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah, dude, you heard it here first, man. Let me be your guide to strange kink, dude. There are dildos that lay eggs inside of people.
Jesus, I'm not even surprised, to be honest.
Yeah. And then they have to poop them out.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what? Are you gonna live your life with an egg inside of you?
That'd be just weird. It's like funk.
Yeah.
Or if they just in the toilet, or if they just kind of clean them off and reload them.
I think they clean them off and reload them. Man, you love that one.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I don't know how, like, I wonder if, like, the dildo, like, if you could shoot them. Like if it was a cannon or something.
A cannon?
Not like a cannon, actually, but, Something that, like, pops them out. Like, God, something that's pressurized, like a potato gun. Not the cannon again. I don't know. I don't know how these contraptions work, but I know that they're out there.
I imagine it's just like a little, like, you just kind of smash down the little pipe and it kind of pushes it in.
Yeah, that's it, dude. I'm sending you a video with that.
Oh, Lord, please, God, no.
No, I'm doing it. And then you'll have to report back next episode what you saw.
Okay.
All right. And on that wonderful, wonderful bombshell, do you have any shout outs and dedications?
Patrick, Robbie, Jay Henny, the great and powerful Kooky Lukey, Kat, Raven. I'm sorry if I forget anybody. Again, I always think I need to make a list. I never do. My wife, my son. Anybody you got? Yeah,
Javad, Jacob's mother, Ben's mom, my lovely girlfriend Katie, my sister Patricia, and Jacob's ghost.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Hey,
dog.
Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Laters. You didn't know about these dildos?